In this video, we're going to put together some of the things that we've done in the last few videos to create a small navigation menu for our web pages. You may only have one web page, but you're going to need to divide it, make it into 2 pages, maybe put your game on the second page. But I'll show you what I did to get started. I have my index page here. Basically, I made this from a template, remember, and then I added this content that we used on our programming problem that we had last quarter. I made a second page called page 2 from my template. And the only content I put on this one is this is page 2. That's all I put on there now, just to distinguish it from my index page. I also have a page2.html. It is in the folder with my index page. So I have my index page and I have page2.html. Maybe for yours, you have your index page, which your main page should always be indexed. Maybe you'll have a page that's about.html or family.html or pets.html or ponggame.html or just pong.html. You can have several pages. Okay, I want you to have 2 or 3 pages at least. You have to have at least 2. 3 would be even cooler. So what we're going to do is make a little navigation bar that lets us navigate from this page to our other page. And we're going to make that out of an unordered list. So inside my body, I'm just going to do it right at the top for now. We'll decide on the best place for it. The best place might be between this heading and that heading. Well, yeah, let's do that. Between these 2 headings for now. Let's try it. Let's make an unordered list. When we do navigation, they actually make a tag, and the tag doesn't do a whole lot other than group things together and basically tell somebody that's looking at your page, hey, this section of my page is for navigation. So as part of the semantic web, let's use tags that actually mean something and tell people what it does. So this is the nav tag. So there's my opening nav tag. And here's my closing nav tag. Everything that I have between these 2 tags is going to be elements for navigation. And I told you we're going to use an unordered list, so I'm going to indent 1 level. And I'm going to do an unordered list. And we know an unordered list needs a beginning and an ending. So we'll put a /ul there. And inside of our unordered list, we'll have some list items. The list item has a start and a stop. And I'm going to make 3, and I apparently didn't copy the whole thing. So I'm making 3 list items real quick. I don't know why I'm doing 3 when I only have 2 links to do. I'll reserve a spot for a future link. My future link will go here when I get my 3rd page added. But for now, my first list item is going to have a link. So I need to do an href equals. Let's do index.html. Okay, but wait a minute, this is index.html, so this is going to be a link. This is going to be a link to the same page that we're on, but we want our navigation menus to be consistent. So we want to have the first link, when we do a nav bar, if the first link is your main page, it should be the main page on every page, including the main page. So we're going to start out with our index.html here. We should probably put a title. Title equals homepage. and then we'll put a /A. So our list item contains a link. Excuse me, I did not close that right. We need to put some words in here. I'll put the word home. So the title of the link is homepage, and the text inside the link between the opening anchor tag and the closing anchor tag is home. Let's save that and look at it. I'm going to save it. Oh, great. Here we go. Got a list up here. Starting to look like this list down here. How is that going to be navigation? Well, you'll see. We'll turn it into that. The other link that I want to use, do this. Your tag, href equals, and we will link to, in this case, page2.html. It's in the same directory, so I don't need to put any paths or anything. And title equals second page. We'll close our link. And for the words, I'll put page 2. I'll spell out the word 2. And then close the anchor. Okay, let's save that and look at it. Okay. And on this third link, I don't have a third page right now, so I'm not going to actually put an anchor around it because it's not going to work. I don't want people to click on that. It doesn't go anywhere. So if I'm on this page and I click on page 2, it takes me to my second page, page2.html. If I look up at the address, it's page2.html. I can click the back button to go back to my first page. So we have this unordered list of hyperlinks. I have 2 active ones and a spot for a future one if I want to. All right. List links inside list items that are all inside an unordered list, which is in a section called Nav. Now let's go do some styling to make this look more like a navigation bar. All right, so let's go to mystyle.css and apply some styles. For my nav section, navy. I'm starting not to like you, autocomplete. For my nav section, let's make the background color black. I'll save that. I'll refresh it. Oops. Refresh it. And you can see that the whole section here turned to a black background. That's okay. We'll leave it that way for right now. I want to style my list items, but I don't want to change these list items down here. So what I'm going to do is make a descendant selector, nav list items. So the list items that are in my nav section, I want to give them a different style. And each list item is considered a block element. And a block element means once the list item is over, it puts a line break in for the next thing that follows it. So those are block elements. But I want my navigation, I want these links to go across from each other on the page. Okay. So I don't really want them to be block elements. I want them to be inline. So I can change that. So I can tell it to display my list items. I can say display inline. All right, I'll save that and I'll hit refresh. And now you can see it's a little hard to see because I've got purple on black. Home, page 2, and future link. They're going straight across from each other. They're all kind of ran together. That's probably not good. Okay. So let's fix that. We haven't really talked about padding yet, but we're going to do padding. I'm going to put some padding on the right side of my list items, and I want to put 40 pixels. So basically I'm saying put 40 pixels of space on the right side of each of these list items. Okay, and now still blue on black, but you can see they're spread out now. So my little nav bar is coming together. Let's do, I don't like how cramped it is. So let's do the line height. We've talked about that one before. We'll set it to 200%. Or I could have said 2 EMs, right? Okay. And that looks a little bit better. There's actually images still in there. So let's make sure that it doesn't accidentally get those. So let's put the list style type. Actually, I should probably put that in my, let's see if it works here. I think it's already working actually. Let's set it to none. Okay. And for my nav section, its display should be block. Okay, meaning after the nav section, it should go to a new line. It shouldn't put anything directly beside it. If it would have room, it could do that. Save that and refresh it. And we don't see a whole lot of change there. Now I want to make something clear here. We applied background colors to the nav section. But notice the background colors were also inherited. So this is the nav section. The UL also got that background color because it's a child element of the nav section. And each of the list items got the background color because they are children of the unordered list. So that works. Inheritance still works in HTML just like it does in Java or C# or any of the other languages that we've done. Inheritance still applies. If I apply something to the parent element, the children automatically get the formatting. All right, I'm still not quite done here. What else do I want to do? I don't like the underlines because when it's a navigation bar, people already know that those are links. So we don't really need the underlines. So we should be able to let's do this. I want to restyle these because I don't like the colors either. So there's some things we can do for that. So in our style, in our nav section, I want to look at the anchors. Okay, so this is a descendant selector. Nav, anchors within our nav section. And I'm going to use something called a pseudo class selector. We'll talk about more about classes probably next week. But I can say anchors for their link, I want to change the color. So let's put for nav anchors that are links. Let's change it to color white. Save it. Refresh. You notice they didn't change because these aren't technically the link color. These are technically already been visited. So let's do this again. Except for I don't want to do link this time. I want to do visited as well. Let's try this. Ah, now they're white. So they're white. So the default color, you know, that is blue underline. After we visit them, they turn something else. But now we've overrode that. Say, hey, for anchors that are links, I want the color to always be white. Even if we visited them, I want the color to be white. Okay, so these are called pseudo class selectors. It's a class, but it's not really a class. We'll talk more about classes next week. There's some other ones. Let's do in our nav section a colon. Let's do hover. Actually, let's change this first. I think I can do text decoration and set it to none. Decoration. All right, that gets rid of my underlines. Everybody knows this is a nav bar. I don't need underlines to tell people they can click on these links. What I can do down here though is set my nav A for hover. When somebody hovers over the link, if I want to, I can set its text decoration to underline. So now when somebody clicks over it, it goes to underline. See that? Kind of slick. The other one you should know about, very similar, but it's a little bit harder to see sometimes. And that is the active color, or the formatting for active. It can be more than color. Text decoration, underline. Let's also set the color to red. So what happens when I hover over? Oop, I better save it. Refresh it. So it underlines white, but when I click on it, watch, see how it turned red? So I'm holding my mouse button down right now so you can see that clicking. So the active color is what is the color, or any other formatting. I could make it bold. I could change the background color when somebody clicks on it. Whatever I want to do, I can set it in this section down there for what happens to the formatting when somebody clicks on it. This changes the formatting when somebody hovers over it. The visited pseudo class changes the color of a link that we've already been to. Since it's a nav bar, I didn't really want to change the color, so I forced them both to be white. The default link color and the visited link color are the same. So that's a way you can do a quick and easy style. Notice this future link isn't actually a link, so it didn't get any style because there's no anchor tag around it. But maybe I'd want to change the text in there. You can certainly do that if you want to.